I started making the nest boxes. Just right now I'm using 3/4 inch plywood as the outside foundation. I zip this all together and then I'll make individual nesting compartments. Right now I think I did 41 inches long just to compensate. I want the interior dimension of each cube to be at least like 13 inches or so. They recommend 12 by 12. I want to go a little bit, a little bit bigger than that. So that's that. And then so the first set of three, not the first set of three, the foundation, the first set of 4 cuts are 2 41 inches and 2, I think they're 30 inches by 15. So I went a little bit bigger just to make sure that the interior dimensions of each nest box is at least 13 by 13. So all right, coming along, got the foundation all done. It's pretty square. It's about an 1/8 inch off square, but I'm also using reclaimed wood, so not too terrible, but it's level for the most part. No, it's level. So I got it's basically, that's one shelf and that's the second shelf, and then basically we're gonna have, and under here I have a couple of 2x2s going across for support, and then I'll put dividers in here, a divider here, a divider here, a divider here, and a divider there, and we'll have 6 nesting boxes. So this is the nest box coming along. I'm putting these dividers in right here. I am keeping them short though because I want some airflow over the top, so they'll have plenty of privacy here for each individual nesting area, but there'll be some ventilation over the top. I don't know, I just feel like even in the nest box a little ventilation isn't bad. I am going to have a back on this as well, and I'll be drilling ventilation holes in the back. Again, they're going to be all high, so at least any hot air can escape the nest box area. So that's kind of my thought process right now. So let's get these in. So what I'm doing here, I'm using these little L brackets, just little L brackets like that. And I put them in here. Again, I'm trying to make sure that there's privacy yet airflow too. So I have 4 L brackets here, but I'm not fastening them to this divider because I want the divider to be able to slide out in case I need to clean in here. It'll be easier to remove. Depending on how well they do as they lay, see how clean they keep the nest box. I may decide to put screws in here, but I wanted it to be temporary so I could just slide this right in and then it's in there. So it wobbles a little bit, but it's certainly secure enough for this to slide in and out. So it's kind of like a little trial just to see how it goes. If it's a problem, I may have to put screws in. Not a huge deal if I have to put a screw in a couple of these L brackets just to stabilize this. But I'm going to see how this goes with just letting this sit in here like this. Again, just so I can slide it in and out to easily clean if I need to. But again, it provides some airflow over the top here. And obviously I'm going to have a back on here as well. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I don't know if it makes any sense. It makes sense to me because I want privacy, I want ease of cleaning and airflow. So I decided to screw them in because they just were a little too wobbly just sitting in there. So, worst case scenario, I got to take a couple of screws out to remove these if I have to. So I wound up screwing the L brackets right in. So they're a lot more stable, if the chickens are going in and out. I don't want these falling over. So that's what I decided to do. If I have to remove these, it'll just be a couple of screws, a couple extra steps, but I'd rather have these dividers secure than having them easy to pull out, you know what I mean? So that's where I'm at. I wound up screwing them right into the board so they're stable. So I have to put the backing on them, and this is all reclaimed wood, so nothing was exactly straight. So I'm laying the nest box on this piece of 1/4 inch plywood I have for the back, but again, it's not square, so I'm basically just going to trace this out. The bottom's pretty square, so pretty straight, so I'm using that bottom as the straight edge, and then I'll just trace out all that, and then I'll just cut it and then tack on the back. So Alright, so I cut the piece of wood, the backing, and I'm just going to lay it back here and tack it in. I will try and square this off as best I can, but that's basically going to be the backing. So it looks good, so it's going to go all around here, and I do have a 2x2 in there that I could at least secure the middle bit to it, so that's going to be it. So, cracking at that. Alright, so I decided to put footings on the bottom just to raise it off the ground a little bit. I mean, it's going to be inside the coop, obviously, but just want to raise it off a little bit. You know, it's just pressure treated 2x4s there. So I'm going to put those footings in. Probably not needed, but I just felt like I wanted to do it, so that's why I'm doing it. So. So I don't know if you know this little trick, but you want to go with the grain. So I almost put it like this against the wood. And even though it's a little piece of wood, I don't want it to curve out. So I'm going to flip this over to make sure that the grain is going in so it doesn't bow out. So, and I didn't learn that from anywhere else but watching videos like this one. So that's that. I mean, I'll do the other ones. I'm going to shut the camera off now. You don't need to see me put the screws in, so. So there she is, she's all done. Put the back on. I mean, you know, I still got to tweak a couple of things here and there. But other than that, it's good to go, ready to be painted. And our chicks are getting ready to lay soon. They're coming up on like 17 or 18 weeks old. So our Easter eggers, they're really getting red. And our Puff Orpingtons, or whatever the hell they're called, they're getting ready too. But oh, that's it, not too bad. I have it leaned up against the wall, that's why it looks a little weird. So I got the footings, the backing is on. So the only thing I am going to do is we are going to paint high gloss on the top, because this is going to be lower than their roosts in the coop, but I'm going high gloss on here, and I'm probably going to put linoleum because I know they're going to be up there. So whoever's not laying, or they might want to try to get into the nest box. So I have to make sure that that is pretty easy to clean. So it's the only thing I'm definitely going to do. And then we'll see. I don't know if we're going to paint it, and then we're going to do baskets with the nesting material in there. So that's that. Not too shabby for a dog trainer. I may revisit the dividers. I may go all the way up. I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like they need the ventilation. My wife wasn't. She was like made a lemon face when I told her what I was doing. So anyway, that's that. And I did wind up adding a couple of 2x4s going across here and there, just so there's a lip. so nothing falls out, and we can slide the baskets and the nesting material in there without anything sliding out. So that was one thing I had to add, but other than that, she's all done and ready to be painted.